Hello, everyone, and welcome to the back rooms. This is the new studio space. This is Slop Chop, a podcast about the act of slop. My name's Harvey. I'm here. I'm your king, your captain. This room has not been soundproofed yet. I can totally hear the echo. I didn't think that I wouldn't be able to notice it. Maybe if I close that, would it be better? No, I don't know. But anyway, thank you for being here. This is the new studio space. From these bones, there will be a really cool freaking studio, but I'm glad that I'm recording in here because I didn't know how it was going to sound, and you don't know until you get into the place. You can't like bring a microphone and recording equipment into the apartment that you're trying to move into. People look at you weird. The realtor would give you a strange glance were I to bring my bullshit into here. It's really good. It's a really good angle too that we're shooting at. I hope that you're watching the video. It's really, really good. It's all knee. You just so much knee in the shot right now. Should rest in peace to Connor Murphy. If you're unfamiliar, Michael Murphy. I think his middle name actually is Michael. Connor Murphy is a fitness influencer who I knew in real life. He went to my same college. He was a year above me. We were in the same fraternity. I've been moving this week, and I went to my family's storage unit, and there was a composite photo of all of us, and there's Connor Murphy, like pretty close to where I'm at in the composite photo. I'll put the photo in the episode. But yeah, weird thing. It was interesting to know the guy. I'll just give you my brief history with him. Truly rest in peace. He had a very tumultuous sort of go of it, which we'll talk about. But when I knew him, he was a secluded, kind of socially anxious person. He wasn't hugely ripped yet. He waited till after college to start the YouTube channel, which ballooned to 3 million subs shortly after he graduated. But when I knew him again, he was like, he was like kind of just an oddball. He was in the fraternity. He was around, but no one seemed to be super close with him. There's probably one or two guys that would have considered him like a good friend of theirs. I was not one of those people. I didn't have any problems with him, but he was just kind of odd. I thought he might be on the spectrum. I think he probably was somewhere on the spectrum. But what was impressive about him was that he was extremely smart. Like, he was super duper freaking intelligent, and he had a photographic memory. And I never saw him do this, but I heard that he could read a page out of a textbook and then recite the page to you, like that kind of photographic memory. So he didn't have much trouble in school because of the memory. But he graduated. I mean, dude, pretty non-controversial, just normal, keep to himself guy in college. He graduated. We lose touch, and then he starts the YouTube channel, and he started doing like cringe, sort of prank adjacent stuff. That was sort of what he started with. He famously, there's a Chipotle that we frequented in college, really close to campus, and he climbed on top of the Chipotle shirtless.
What's up, guys? Today you are joining us from Chipotle Mexican Grill.
Ripped. So that was the whole thing of like, look at me, I'm shirtless on top of a Chipotle. I'm hot and shirtless on top of a Chipotle. That there's your video. So he did a bunch of stuff like that where it's just like, look at me being hot. Here I am shirtless and hot. That was the thing. He did a bunch of man on the street shit, like in Austin. Man on the street. His big one that I remember was like, he'd have a trench coat on and some glasses, and the idea was like, look at this nerd, and then he would take the trench coat off, and you realize it was not a nerd at all. It was a man with muscles, a muscly man. And the idea is that girls are supposed to, like, girls would be discounting him at first before they realize the kind of absolute chad that they're dealing with. And then they sing a different tune after he takes his comical trench coat off. So that's the kind of flavor of content that he was making. Not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. I didn't feel the need after he started getting the success. I didn't feel the need to call him up and try to be a part of his journey. I didn't feel the need to fame seek or starfuck or whatever the term is. Because I thought it was cringe, but it was just interesting. It was interesting that I knew someone who had blown the fuck up and was like doing well on the internet. The content was horrible and embarrassing, but it's beside the point. He had numbers, he had views, and that's, that is the currency. Anyway, cut to like a year later, and H3H3, my beloved, catches wind of this guy, starts seeing his videos, and Ethan and Hila make a video about Connor Murphy. And that is one of the craziest, trippiest things that's ever happened to me as a fan of H3. To see them make a video about a guy that I knew in real life was really wild. It's a pretty good video. They make fun of him, as they should. Again, he was doing a bunch of cringe shit. He never really stopped with the cringe shit up to the day he died. He was different types, different flavors of cringe, but cringe nonetheless, I wonder if I crop out my knee in post, because the knee is it's just a strange look. Anyway, so yeah, Ethan makes the video about Connor. It gets posted in our, I forgot who posted it in our group chat, but it was like, Ethan Law made a video about Connor. That shit was insane. Still remember that day. It's one of those legendary group chat moments. There's a handful of those. The one that comes to mind is when Charlie Kirk got kirked. When Charlie got kirked, that group chat was wild. At work, on Twitter, just scrolling through memes, posting the spiciest ones to the group chat. Good stuff. I'm not sure when this happened exactly, but Connor kind of became disillusioned with the fame and the numbers and the online spectacle. He lost his taste for it, and he started pursuing kind of spiritual growth, spiritual development instead of that. And he might have been just like, I don't know, an addict, or he had some flavor of mental illness, antisocial personality disorder or something along those lines. Maybe he was borderline or schizophrenic or something. But he decided to do like a major ayahuasca trip. I think he flew out to California, set this whole thing up to trip on ayahuasca, and hopefully enlighten himself and change the way his brain acted, change the way his brain was. So I think he went into this deal with a healthy dose of mental illness already there. And when you pour like heavily, like intense psychedelics on top of an already unstable brain, you're going to get questionable results. So he did that, and he started just like immediately, he fell into mania, real mania, like I am God shit, super, super incoherent, posting videos of himself like in his apartment, speaking gibberish, but manic gibberish to the, like the type where like he's clearly having a good time, but no one else in his life is enjoying this. And he keeps with the psychedelics. I've watched some videos about his fitness influencer friends, and they were like, yeah, he never really stopped the psychs. He was like microdosing ayahuasca, which I didn't know you could do. I thought that was like a shroom, you microdose on You microdose on psilocybin, but fucking ayahuasca is a wild thing to take just a little bit of, just to get the, get the juices flowing. I'm microdosing heroin. I do inject it intravenously, but it's only a little bit. It's like a pinprick, and much like a GLP-1 or something. It's just like a little. It is black tar heroin. Yes, 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 yes. I actually have heard of people doing that, like authors and shit. That's fucking baller, dude. Microdosing heroin's baller. I'm gonna try that. Yeah, I got a new apartment to myself, dude. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can microdose heroin. Maybe it'll unlock something. Maybe I'll become like I'll become like a great podcaster, an even better podcaster. Thank you for correcting me, sloppers. Yeah, I can't wait for that. So I look forward to the heroin arc era, the hero era, the hero era. Anyway, around this same time, it stops being fun to make fun of him. It starts becoming sad, and you just kind of wish that he would get some help or like seek medical attention, seek professional assistance for his grand delusions. And they are grand. Again, he's got the God complex going. He is thinking of himself as like sort of humanity's savior, and just posting a lot of unhinged shit from his apartment. Lots and lots of unhinged shit. I have to unfollow him around this time because I can't have it clogging up my timeline anymore. Again, it's no longer fun. Usually, like pointing and laughing at the lol cow is fun. Schadenfreude is interesting. It is just, improved or doubled by the fact again that I know this guy in real life, but after a time, it loses its luster and becomes just depressing. So I unfollow him. I kind of lose online touch with the guy. I haven't spoken to him since college, and now he's dead. So I will never have the opportunity to speak to him again. RIP. We're skipping over years here, but I do kind of, it seems like he goes back to his old ways, his old content. The people aren't really vibing with the super god stuff, the I am the world savior type content. People aren't really digging it. And so then he just goes back to like his old cringe man on the street, look at my six pack stuff. And it's funny because like that's where he started and that's how he gained an audience. So people are commending him and like assuming that he's on the up and up now because he's like his deranged videos from his apartment are less frequent, and now he's out in front of people making an ass of himself again. People are like, final, yes, great, Connor's doing really well, man, let's go. I guess he was, he's doing better at least. But again, he just never recovered from the psychedelic episode. The unstable brain never came back. It was all, broken from that day forth. Unfortunately, it is kind of what you hear your parents warning you about when you're discussing psychedelics, or they're discussing psychedelics. Old Johnny Jim from my high school, that boy took LSD one time and he was never the same. You hear about that shit, right? And you go, okay. Well, actually, no. Originally, it does scare you. It scares you off of drugs for several years, usually. And then you either forget about that or you learn that you don't care, or you talk to some of your drug-doing friends and they go, nah, that's bullshit. It's fine. I've done acid 15 times. It's no big deal. And actually, like, yeah, it might be life-changing, but it'll be like a positive life change. And the only real truth to it, sloppers, is that if you have, again, the unstable brain with the mental illness and you pour some heavy drugs on top of it, that can sometimes lead to disaster, lead to ruin. So just be careful, and I'm not talking about like depression, bro. I'm talking about like, again, schizophrenia or like borderline personality disorder. If you have those, maybe think twice about doing the psychs. Or maybe they'll cure you, you know? Maybe they'll fix your shitty brain. Maybe your bipolar tendencies will be kind of neutralized, and you are frequently either manic or super depressive, and then you do drugs once, and you just become right in the middle all the time. Maybe that'll happen too. You know, that's also possible. It's not like it's not possible, but it was not possible for Connor Murphy. Connor Murphy did not come out of that unscathed. He was scathed. And again, he's doing his cringe whatever shit, but he's still posting from his room mutterings about him being the Messiah. Mutterings of the Messiah. And then like a moth to flame, dude, the looks maxing community emerges, and Connor Murphy has found his people. Connor Murphy found his group, dude, finally, after all these years. He was juggling a couple of different things. He was, am I a man on the street type interviewer? Am I a spiritual mind leader? No. I'm a looks maxer, dude. Yes. I'm a fucking looks maxer, man. I figured it out. These people have figured out that the true path to happiness and spiritual oneness, the true path to serenity, sloppers, is making your face look as symmetrical as possible and expanding your cheekbones to a comical degree. So he goes all in on the looks maxing thing, and it's crazy. I mean, Clavicular is doing this right now too, where he's already hot. You're starting from hot, and then you try to improve upon that, and you're actually like at the top of the mountaintop already. And anything that you do to change the way your face looks will bring you further down than where you're starting. Clav just had fucking 2 major surgeries. He had his ears pinned and his nose chopped, and he looks worse now. He straight up just looks worse. He's looks minning, which it does make sense, come to think of it, that this would happen, right? Like you only know one path, which is to try to make yourself look hotter. And like, you know, what are you going to do? Not keep trying? You're going to keep trying. You're going to keep doing the thing because that's what you do. You're a looks maxer. That's what you do. If you're not actively looks maxing, you can't, then you're declining, right? But that's actually not true. You just look good. You're aging, but you're 24. Clavicular. You don't need to be fucking doing this. It's crazy. So Connor Murphy does, like, he gets these, I don't know how he does it. He smashes the fuck out of his cheeks. He looks comical, bro. Comical. He looks like a clown or a Floopian, dude. I always go back to Floopian. It looks like a goddamn Floopian, bro, from Spy Kids. Put the picture of the Floopian in, please. Future Harvey. It's just a strange, unappealing, unflattering look. It's not hot. It looks unnatural. It looks creepy. It's off-putting. And that's where he remains, dude. He's in the fitness forums, presumably, and the looks maxing forums for sure. And he's talking to other men about how to improve the way they look. Meanwhile, he looks like a Halloween mask. Yeah, it's such a strange thing, that community. So strange. And you are like, it's been said to death, but it's not, it's sort of to fuck women, but not really. It's more like to flex on your boys. There's so much of that in gym culture too. Straight men flexing on each other. It's like peacocking or those monkeys that have the big red ass, baboons. Maybe baboons, but I don't know. Like, it's like showing off to each other to like to prove that you're the manlier man. And that's much more fulfilling than finding a mate or fucking a woman or whatever. That's not the most fulfilling. What you need to do is flex on your boys. Please stop with all this homosexual rigmarole. So he never grows out of his delusions, and then he is found in some godforsaken South American country. But he's there by himself. He's filming some content or some shit, and he dives into a lake after allegedly acting erratically. The onlookers were saying that he was acting very strangely, and he did some sort of a thing in a lake and drowned. So, I mean, rest in peace to the man. You can't say it's unexpected, you know? You can't say that, like, this came out of nowhere. The signs were there, and it's sad, for sure. I feel for his family who have been through hell with this guy, for sure. I'm sure that they're, devastated, but you always hope that your kid's gonna figure it out, come on back to reality, but sometimes that just does not happen, and it did not happen with Connor. He broke his unstable mind and then just kind of continued his downward trajectory up until accidentally taking his own life in some sort of a manic state. His last video is very eerie. The last video on his channel. I recommend you go watch it if you like creepy things.
I'm absorbing the spirit of Elon. You motherfuckers have it. You motherfuckers have an unhealthy relationship with death.
Rest in peace. I don't know what else to say, man. I knew the guy in real life. Rip to the guy. Sorry that happened to you, sir. Sorry to your family, man. Best of luck in the future to the Murphys, and we wish you the best here at Slop Chop. Sucks to have a kid die, for real. That fucking sucks, for real. Sorry that happened to y'all. And we'll move on from this depressing slopic to a much less depressing and much more fun one. Okay, I'm a big letterboxd boy. I love me some freaking letterboxd, brother. And guess what? This week it was announced that Letterboxd is in talks with many big media companies to be acquired. Netflix, Sony, Paramount, and Alexis Ohanian. Who the fuck is that? Ew. Oh my god, it's the fucking co-founder of Reddit. Ew. The Reddit guy wants to buy Letterboxd. Ew. Holy shit, he's married to Serena Williams? What the fuck? The guy that co-founded Reddit is married to Serena Williams. Did you guys know that? I had no idea. Okay, that's, you know what? Props to the man. And maybe he's not the reason that Reddit is cringe. It's possible he just created like an impressive forum website, and he had nothing to do with the fact of Reddit's current state. Maybe that's why. Maybe he's just a normal dude who created the website, got really rich, and then maybe he just got rich, and then the money attracted Serena fucking Williams. That's a crazy pull, dude. Good for you. Good for him. All right, yeah. Shouts out to the Reddit guy. But anyway, Reddit man is trying to buy my beloved Letterboxd. And Letterboxd, I think we talked about this a couple episodes ago, but Letterboxd is like the anti-social media platform. It's the only one that is not hardwired to fuck your brain chemistry up. It's the only one that you cannot doom scroll. They like prevent you intentionally. The unending scroll thing does not exist on the website. And it's the only one that doesn't have that. So it has to be intentional. It does seem like kind of archaic, generally speaking, but that's good, probably. Like, it serves its purpose. It has ads on the free version, but they're not crazy. They're not super intrusive. I pay for Pro. It just seems like a generally, it's very well liked. I mean, there is a bit of a cringe culture, but it's nowhere near Reddit. Nowhere fucking Reddit. It's nowhere near as bad as Reddit. It's not even like, there's no like negative culture like a Twitter either. The most bad press it gets is like the one-liner reviews. People hate those. I also kind of hate those, but except for when they're mine, in which case they're funny. If they're mine, they're funny. If they're anyone else's, they're annoying, and they should put more effort into them. I actually do put effort into my Letterboxd reviews. That's why. That's what puts me above the rest of the pack. I put effort into my useless reviews that no one sees. It's true, I do. That's just true. It's a fact. But yeah, dude. Okay, so Netflix, I could see them incorporating the website into their platform, or vice versa. And maybe it's like an Alamo Drafthouse Sony situation where the website gets acquired and then nothing changes. Like, I'm pretty sure literally nothing about Alamo has changed since Sony bought it, which is crazy, dude. I thought they were going to be advertising Morbius in every corner of that theater, you know, or like pushing Sony shit more or something. Like, there's actually I didn't notice there's not even like a PS5 in the lobby. There's just nothing. So maybe it'll be like that. I could see at the once your Netflix show concludes, hey, what would you rate that on Letterboxd? And it just pulls up for you. I could totally see that. I would love them to add television shows to the platform. There's some purists out there who do not want this, and I cannot for the life of me understand why. It seems like a no-brainer. I think the how is where you get where you can get a little questionable. I hate the idea personally, although this is probably what they'll do. I hate the idea personally of logging every episode that you watch of a show. I think that seems unnecessary and gross. I don't know why it's gross, but it feels gross. I think more favorably, I would recommend seasons of television. You can log a season, but they're not going to do that, dude. They're going to do episodes. And you're going to have dweebs and dorks who are logging every single episode of Smiling Friends they watch, and they're 11-minute episodes, and so it'll just be 15 freaking things back to back. And I don't need to see that. Like, wouldn't a season of a TV show makes much more sense to me. You could even have some sort of a functionality within the season. Like, I don't know, I'm picturing, hey, I just watched season 1 of The Pit, and then you click on their thing, and, you know, maybe there's like a built-in rate the episodes thing, or elaborate on each episode, what you liked, what you didn't like. I don't know. There's the how of it is definitely the most. There's a lot of different ways to do it, is what I'm getting at, and one of them is very annoying. So I'd advise them to not do the one that's annoying. Although I've got a feeling that's the one they're going to do, because I think it's the annoying one is also the easiest implementation. You just do the same movie tracking thing for every episode of TV that you watch. Super, super annoying, in my opinion. Clogs up your feed, sucks ass, but it's easy. You know, There's not a whole lot of thought process that has to go into that. So that's probably what they'll do. I'm curious. It is pretty wild to me that they've held out this long without having some sort of a TV in there. No television functionality on Letterboxd. I got to tell you something. This has actually subsided dramatically with my use of the website. I've been on there since 2021, I think. But I used to avoid TV shows, kinda, or not prioritize them because I couldn't log them on the app. I'd have a thing too. This is when I was mega unemployed and depressed. Super unemployed, super depressed. And I had a thing where the dopamine of logging something on Letterboxd and then more specifically removing a movie from my watch list and transforming the number of the watch list into a watched television or movie and logging it, it felt like accomplishing a goal. It scratched the same itch in my brain as homework or like life development. And it's way easier than either of those things. So I did it frequently. And again, during this time, people would recommend TV shows for me and I'd be like, I mean, I could watch that, but then I wouldn't have any, I couldn't log it on Letterboxd. What am I going to just watch something for no credit? Again, this feeling has subsided dramatically. I don't really think this way anymore. But I did for a time. I did for sure. And there's probably more people out there like me who are just too ashamed to admit it. And I get being ashamed to admit it because I'm currently ashamed to admit it. But I'm going to admit it anyway. And that is my promise to you, Slops, is that, minus the really, really depraved, unhinged shit in my life. There's not a whole lot of it, but there's some. I'm going to tell you guys the deal with me. I'm an open book. I admire Jim Norton, the comedian. I love, and part of the reason that I love Jim Norton is because he is an open book, like to a crazy degree. Like, go watch this man's specials. He just talks openly about like the most. he talks openly about his sex life in a way that I hope to one day have the balls to do. But like, dude, even in the 90s, he was talking about how much he loves trans girls. And cut to 3 years ago, and he married one. So shouts out to Jim Norton. I fucking love that guy. He's goddamn hilarious. If you haven't seen Please Be Offended, his special called Please Be Offended, ultra cringe title, hilarious special. It's probably in my top 25 funniest specials in my opinion. He also did Mouthful of Shame on Netflix, which is excellent as well. If you're looking for more recommendations, let me know because I got plenty. So yeah, dude. Okay, so Netflix, I could totally see them just incorporating it into their letterbox. We're back to Letterboxd. Netflix, I could totally see them just incorporating it into their platform. It'd be an easy sort of, hey, instead of thumbs up, thumbs down, what would you rate this? Or supplementary to that. You kind of have to, do you combine both of them? If you put it on your website, if you put it on your app, meaning Letterboxd, if you put Letterboxd on Netflix, how do you do the thumbs up, thumbs down thing? Do you combine the two? What would you rate it on Letterboxd? Okay, this is what you do. You got to bring back stars then, dude. Remember Netflix used to have stars, but now it's just thumbs up, thumbs down. So assuming, again, we're going to take the leap of logic and assume that we are putting Letterboxd on Netflix, okay? Which, again, they might not do. They might just slap, I don't know, more Netflix shit on the Letterboxd website. But assuming they do, sloppers, stay with me. Assuming they do that, you either bring back stars and you have people just star rate the thing, and then you have a little question mark pop up. Would you like to submit this to Letterboxd? And you say yes or no. Or alternatively, you just have like an optional thing that you have to click on, either thumb down, like move down with your controller remote, or finger if you're watching on your phone that says log on letterbox question mark. And then you just add a review question mark. And it's just the same, the same thing that they have on the website now, meaning the letterbox website. So that's a possibility. But alternatively, hey, okay, the other option would be right now you have the thumbs up and then the double thumbs up for Netflix. So if you thumbs up it or double thumbs up it, a little pop-up box, hey, glad you liked it. Do you want to log it on letterboxd? And then if you thumbs down it, if it's a Netflix original, no pop-up happens. But if it's a non-Netflix original, you still get the same pop-up. Hey man, sorry you didn't like that. You want to log it on letterboxd? To warn your friends to avoid this dog shit? But again, no, if it's Netflix original, no pop-up. No. You have to take your ass over to the other app to log it and tell people to avoid Garden State 2. What's it called? Electric State 2. Garden State 2, but Zach Braff is a 55-year-old man now instead of a 20-year-old. But he's just as angsty and just as annoying and just as discontent with life. He's done no growth in the past 30 years. That's the move, dude. Make it Hollywood. Netflix will produce. Who else do we have? Who else am I? So we have Reddit guy. Why does Reddit guy want to get his grimy hands over my beloved app? I think, dude, Sony's the third one who's looking into this. It is funny, by the way, that Netflix they were in talks to buy Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers? You heard of that conglomeration? And they decided not to. And instead, they're buying Letterboxd. Well, I'm going to buy something. It's like buying a flat screen television or a single Blueberry. You're like, You decide not to buy the PS5 and you buy one live worm from a bait shop. Sony would probably just monetize it hard and make it doom scrolly and make it shitty and shitify it. But I think regardless of what happens, it will be shitified. The raw simplicity of Letterboxd in its current form cannot survive with that level of corporate oversight. I think people are just going to, no matter how much money they spend on this fucking thing, even if it's only $50 million or whatever, which is probably what it's probably worth $50 million. That might even be high. It just cannot be that valuable of a commodity. It's popular, but it's not, no one's it's not fucking, I don't know, right? There's no way it's 9 figures, right? I don't know shit about this, but I cannot imagine Letterboxd is going to be that expensive to buy. Why are they trying to sell it? They're probably just trying to cash out. I don't blame them for trying to cash out. Johnny Letterboxd has done his time in the trenches. He's tired. He wants to retire, and I can't blame him. It does make you question what he's doing and what his entire team are doing. Those people. If you use the website, you'll know that there's people that have the term or the tag crew. So that they work for the app. And it's what are you actually doing? There has not been an update to that website in since I've been there. I looked at the interface, the home screen, a screenshot from years ago is the Barbenheimer thing. When Barbenheimer happened, a screenshot of an old school throwback screenshot, it is identical. I mean, a bit of the text has been tightened up a little bit. The vectoring is kind of cleaner, but it is literally the same thing. I'm think about any other social media. If you jump back 5 years, the difference that they just transform. They transform almost entirely, and they're always tweaking and changing and optimizing your time. They're trying to get you to spend as much time possible on the website. And Letterboxd just does not fuck around with that, dude. They don't care. They don't care. They want you to log the thing, look at an ad, and fuck off to Twitter or Instagram. That's what they're there for. They're trying to be. It's like not even a side bitch. It's like a pretty girl that you wave at, or like, you know, more accurately, because you're using it more than. It's like an attractive coworker who's knowledgeable. She's got like great takes. She's had some dumb shit for sure, but you kind of ignore the dumb shit. Yeah. She's a friend named Karsten, who's a decent YouTuber, but a shitty Letterboxd reviewer. And he's the most popular neighbor or friend on the girl on the platform. My metaphor is crumbling. What is it with my metaphors and how quickly they crumble? What does that say about me, I wonder? Nothing. It says nothing about me, dude. I'm going to keep swinging. But anyway, yeah, it's a pretty girl coworker, great takes, knowledgeable as fuck. She knows a lot of shit. And she's like pretty, but you know, you're not like head over heels or whatever. Like, you have Twitter at home. What are you going to give up Twitter for fucking Letterboxd, bro? It's like, it's not even, no, that's not happening. And like, yeah, dude, you flirt with Instagram. As a matter of fact, you've hit it a couple times. You would never tell Twitter. Never go home and tell Twitter. But Instagram is a straight up side piece. Letterboxd is like a pretty coworker that you're friendly to her. She's a little heavy, okay? She doesn't take the best care of herself, but she's simple and she's sweet and she's got a pretty face. And like, I don't know, you think about it. You jerked off to her a couple times, but like, you're not gonna fuck, bro. You're not gonna cheat on Twitter for fucking Letterboxd, bro. What the fuck are we talking about? That's the metaphor. And now, dude, this pretty girl from work is trying to get a facelift. She's trying to sell herself, her wares. She's trying to like go to a modeling agency or something. And it's weird because the models are like, the modeling agency, they have interest in her. They're going to spend like $50 million on this girl. And you're like, her? Letterboxd? Why are you interested in this? And you go, oh no. No. You're going to ruin her. You're going to fucking ruin her, dude. You're going to make her avoid senseless bimbo, a useless amalgamation of the things that she used to be and like and do. She used to do things pretty well, man. Straightforward and well. She used to get shit done. And again, she was knowledgeable. And you go to her and she had some good takes. And you're trying to fucking ruin it. You're trying to make her dumb and like annoying and trying to hold on to your attention. Like, she keeps saying words. You know, people like that. I have someone in my life who is one of the more annoying people I've ever met because she never shuts the fuck up. Never shuts the fuck up. And I had someone recently that has shined some light on the fact that like that impulse comes from anxiety. They're filling the air with words because they're anxious. It is the opposite of what I do when I'm anxious. When I'm anxious, I shut down. I go to the nonverbal mode. I go nonverbal at the function. And you'll catch me in the corner staring at my phone or pretending to hover around people having a conversation and like trying to just, snipe with some jokes or something to prove that I'm worthy of being there. But then you get these fucking people who just fill the air with words. Just words, bro. Fucking words. And it's just so frustrating. It's just beyond. It makes me hate them. It makes me want them to die. That's what they're trying to do with Letterboxd, man. They're trying to turn her into a goddamn siren. They're trying to incuntify my beloved movie tracking app. And it's gonna suck. I just know it. It's gonna suck. There's no way it's good. But dude, like, back to my example recently of the Alamo Drafthouse thing. Sony is one of the people that is taking interest, and Sony made no changes to Alamo. Maybe I'm sure there's behind. Like, obviously, there's going to be behind the scenes stuff that we don't know. But maybe I should call my Alamo friend to get some insight on this. Maybe I'll try him right now.
Your call has been forwarded.
So we'll see what happens with Letterboxd, man. I do not know the answer, but we will see. I will probably continue using the website, even if it gets a little shittier. I do hope that they add TV shows, but I hope that they do it non-stupid. I hope they do the non-stupid version. Just a quick thing that I noticed. If you guys are Red Letter Media people, this is the second spotting of Mike Stoklasa at a WWE event. It's so crazy. It's happened twice. Okay, so for those who don't know or don't care, if you don't care about this, skip this. There's time codes in the description. I should have said that at the top. But Mike Stoklasa of Red Letter Media fame, he did the Plinkett reviews. He is like one of the more elusive figures on the internet. You never know where this guy, like, none of the RLM boys have any social media presence at all. None of them. They just kind of, it's like they don't exist in the real world. It's like your geometry teacher. You see your geometry teacher at a WWE event in like the front row and like dancing, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, my geometry teacher teaches me geometry. She does not exist outside of the realm in which I perceive her. And here she is at a WWE Raw event in Milwaukee. Twice. The first time it was crazy. Like, the first time you saw it and you're like, no fucking way that's Mike Stoklasa. And like, he's a wrestling guy? What? And you're like, you're not even 100% sure it's him. And then it happened again, dude, this week. Again. And it's like the Twitter thread was so funny. Mike Stoklasa spotted at another wrestling event. You're like, no way. And he's doing a dance, bro. And he's with some sort of a female companion. People were speculating because she has red hair, it might be Jessie from 10 years ago. Jessie, who used to appear in Best of the Worst videos, dude. She was the only female co-host, like recurring co-host that they've ever had. And then she disappeared off the face of the earth, and everyone thought that Mike and her broke up. How crazy would it be if they've been dating this whole time? It's so, I think it is one of the cooler things that like they have remained so anonymous and low key on. They've been, I mean, figureheads in the YouTube world. They are like goated in every sense of the word. Like they are tremendously respected in the content creator industry, and they do zero collaborations with other YouTubers. They don't do shit. Like they don't have any they seemingly have no respect for just like the craft. Maybe that's not fair. What I mean to say is that they don't, like, every YouTuber collaborates, bro, except for them. They don't give a fuck. And like the only exception to that would be like you have to be a Hollywood A-list actor. Or not A-list, whatever. You have to be a legit Hollywood actor. You have to be guy from Boys or Macaulay Culkin. Or like a screenwriter or something. You have to have made movies. Then they'll collaborate with you. That's the only path to being in Best of the Worst, dude. There's no other path. You can go fuck yourself if you've made some YouTube videos. They don't care. It's baller. And so then again, you have they don't do collabs. That was the craziest thing because like they got hooked up with Macaulay Culkin, and they did Macaulay Culkin's podcast, and I was like, Red Letter Media is doing a podcast. Holy shit, bro. That was crazy. And the only way that Mac, as he's called now, Macaulay Culkin, got them to do it is by bringing all the shit to their studio. Like he brought all of his equipment and his producer and everything to their Milwaukee studio. Presumably that's how they, it's also possible he's just Macaulay Culkin. And so he asked and they said, we don't really do that, but sure. That's probably what happened. The point is that Mike Stoklasa is a wrestling fan and he's been spotted twice at a WWE Raw event in Milwaukee. And he must be paying for great seats because it's not like they're looking for Mike Stoklasa. No one in the wrestling world has any idea who the fuck Mike Stoklasa is. But during the WWE broadcast, they're like getting shots of the crowd. And Mike twice now has been photographed. Which means that he's a wrestling fan and he's like buying tickets and shit. He's got a girlfriend. He's like a real human being. It's wild. It's wild. Yeah, it's just crazy to me, man. I'm sitting in my new studio and I will soundproof it and then figure out where I'm going to put all my treasures, my belongings. But one of my most beloved things is my Redlettermedia poster that is signed by him, Jay, and Rich. I am just blown away that I have that, dude. If you don't know the story, I sent it to, they have a P.O. box that they no longer advertise. They took it off their website, but they had a P.O. box that was like, send us, because that's still how they receive all their tapes for Best of the Worst. And We Live the Worst is they have people from all over the world send them stuff. And they got sent so much stuff that they took their P.O. box off of their website. And so it's just like they no longer advertise it, but it's still out there. Like you go to Reddit and they have the P.O. box from back in the day. So the P.O. box is still active. And they're still being sent tapes and stuff. So I was like, I bought a poster from their website and then it was shipped to me. And what I did was I rolled the poster up into a tube, put in enough stamps for the return voyage, a note saying like, hey, I'm a huge fan. Will you sign this poster and send it back to me? Like all you have to do, I put this in the thing. All you have to do is take the stamps out of the tube, slap them onto the tube, and just hand it back to like the person. I had my return address already printed there as well. Like everything, I wanted to make the lift as low as possible. I was like, I need to make this as easy as possible. And then I put a Sharpie in. I sent them a Sharpie too, so they didn't have to find a Sharpie. And so, yeah, dude, they did it, which I was so stoked for, as it came back and just said to Harvey, and with all three of them having signed it, they kept the note and they kept the Sharpie, which is so funny. The Red Letter Media guys have my fucking Sharpie. It's a trip. But anyway, I love it's my favorite YouTube channel of all time. So influential to me. Everything that I do, like I've stolen so much from them. So much of my humor is theirs. So much of the way that I look at film came from that YouTube channel. Just the way that I analyze and the analytical brain, and the way that I talk about stuff with criticism specifically, just was birthed from those dudes, man. And so I love them dearly. And it is so funny to me that Mike is a wrestling person. It's hilarious. Shouts out to Mike Stoklasa. I do wish that their content was as good as it used to be. I don't think that I'm just unk in saying that it's fallen off of a cliff a bit. The new stuff is just not consistently, it's just not as good as it used to be, man. By like a pretty freaking wide margin. It's worse. It's just worse. They used to, like, half in the bag, episodes 1 through 150 are still probably my favorite thing on the internet, period. I love it so much. And the overarching storyline of them just scamming this old timer who just wants his VCR fixed, and all they want to do is drink beer and fuck around and talk about movies. And they've been fixing this man's VCR for a decade. 10 years. They've been just dragging out. Like, the concept is so funny, and like all the shenanigans and shit they get into. Like, they time travel, they like bring the house to they drop the house, the Plinkett house, to the bottom of the lake. They tape trash bags on the windows to keep the water out. And they're at the bottom of the lake, and I'm pretty sure all they do is just put like a blue gel filter over their lights to make it like underwater. It's so funny. It's just hilarious. They're so goddamn funny, and they used to put a lot more effort into their work, and they just got tired of doing that. I get it. I get being tired of doing it, but your content's not as good as it used to be, and it's sad. I wish that it was as good as it used to be, is all I'm saying. I just watched their newest video today. They are talking about the rise of, so since Backrooms was such a huge success, all these other creepypastas from 4chan are getting greenlit. Studios are jumping all over. Like, they're like, oh, we have, there's this untapped market of stuff that people care about, like horror concepts that people care about that no one owns. So we don't have to pay anyone. We don't have to pay anyone. Like, no one owns the Backrooms. The Backrooms is just like a concept. Like, Kane Parsons is the closest guy because he made that whole series, but like, the Backrooms exists as an entity online that has multiple origins and multiple different sets of lore, and like, this is just in interpretation. So if you have source material, it's like what is the term for like Alice in Wonderland or something that's not, it's like fair use, but it's something else. You know what I'm talking about? I can't think of the word. Public domain. It's like public domain. So that sounds like a very interesting concept for a video on paper. And it wasn't. It was not a good video. Instead of like diving into the minutia of the Hollywood system like they used to, they just kind of like pitch their own ideas for 15-20 minutes and just kind of rant about unimportant topics, and there's no central thesis to the video really. And it's just clear that they're sitting down in front of a camera and talking to camera. And that is low effort. Don't you think? So imagine listening to a guy who's just sitting in front of a camera and talking into a microphone. It couldn't be me, you know? That shit is cringe. So anyway, I don't watch the new video is not great. I wish that it was better. I wish that all their stuff was as good as it used to be. And maybe they'll get back to it, man. Who knows? Probably not. They're probably done. But like, every once in a while, dude. Every once in a blue moon, I would say these days, twice a year. 2-3 times a year, they come out with a fucking heater. They come out with a killer video that makes you remember why they're the kings. I don't remember the last one. This is probably 3 years ago now, but they did the Bruce Willis video. That video was incredible. It was great. Well researched, well thought out, hilarious, interesting, crazy concepts, crazy like rabbit hole to dive into. And yeah, again, that was probably 2022, 2023. Is a long time ago now. I can't think of one. I'm sure there has been one recently that I really liked, but anyway, they're still the kings, and they still mean the world to me. And they signed my poster, which makes me very happy. So shouts out to those boys, and shouts out to Mike for being a wrestling fan. Let's move on. What have I been watching, Slops? I'm so glad you asked. I watched Evil Dead Burn. Early screening. Shouts out to Josh Rodriguez from There Are Too Many Movies, inviting me to this early screening. So Evil Dead, classic franchise. Sam Raimi directed the first three. The one of the weirdest trilogies ever. Evil Dead 1, super low budget, straightforward horror movie where it's about these, you know, the fucking story. Bruce Campbell and his friends get fucked with in a cabin in the woods. Okay. Evil Dead 2 is a remake of Evil Dead 1. Comes out years later with a much higher budget because Evil Dead 1 was made for no money and it was a huge success. Evil Dead 2 comes out and it is a remake of the first one, but it is a straight up comedy. It is like the horror comedy. As a matter of fact, there's never been a better one. Arguably, because Evil Dead 3, also known as Army of Darkness, it's actually not Evil Dead 3. Like, no one calls it that. It's called Army of Darkness. It was during development, apparently it was going to be called Mid-Evil Dead because the gimmick of 3 is that it's like it's a medieval town being attacked by deadites, and Bruce Campbell gets transported back in time, and he's fighting zombies in medieval times. So you have straightforward horror movie, remake of straightforward horror movie, but a joke, and then like a high concept, adventurous, swashbuckling medieval romp. There's your Evil Dead trilogy. But you still have the name. Evil Dead is like very, very well respected. Army of Darkness comes out in insert year here. And then the next Evil Dead movie is Evil Dead 2013, which is fucking incredible. 2013, one of the best remakes of all time. An absolutely savage, super insane, massively, like they transform it. It's the best thing a remake can do, where it takes the source material and it does its own spin on it. It's directed by Fede Alvarez, who most recently did the Alien Romulus, but he got the Alien gig because of the success of this film. So Evil Dead 2013 is an absolute. It's like the gore, they take it up to the nth degree. The stylish camera work, like it's like just metal as fuck is the best way I can describe it. The practical costuming, makeup, it's like cringe inducing, hilarious, super over the top, but actually creepy and like fucked up. It's great. It's fucking awesome. So 2013 relaunches the franchise, and then a couple years later we have Evil Dead Rise, which is the one in the apartment building. That movie's fine. 2013 is incredible. Sam Raimi, by the way, is producing all these new ones. Fede Alvarez directed the 2013. Evil Dead Rise was directed by some guy. He did something recently that I. Oh yeah, it's Lee Cronin, bro. Lee Cronin from Lee Cronin's The Mummy. So The Mummy, a movie came out this year called Lee Cronin's The Mummy, and it's called Lee Cronin's The Mummy because you can't call it The Mummy because people expect Brendan Fraser or Tom Cruise, and they were like, all right, how do we differentiate this mummy movie from the ones that the people, well, let's put the director's name in there. And also the director sounds like a spooky guy, Lee Cronin, you know? I forgot some podcast. I was like, it sounds like Wes Craven kind of. So that's why they put it there. But people are like, who's that? Who the fuck is that? Who is Lee Cronin? He's the guy that directed Evil Dead Rise. That movie's fine. It's like, it's fine. There's some interesting gore. I don't remember a goddamn thing about it except for the wood chipper at the end. They do a Fargo wood chipper gag where they put a guy in a chipper and he goes, yeah. It's fine. That movie's okay. It's nowhere near 2013. This movie, a couple things. So I went to this early screening and I'll put some footage in right here. They had a DJ who was performing in before the movie started, and he's got like makeup on his face, like zombie makeup. It's so sick, so fucking cool. I was absolutely beside myself with hype. This is the coolest screening thing ever. My buddy, again, Josh, he used to be in this industry. He used to make screenings happen. I don't know what the fuck his job title was called, but he used to make screenings happen. And he was like, yeah, they probably just asked the guy, like, or asked the company, like, make this screening happen, but add some sort of a cool element that would play well on social media. And so they decided to hire a DJ, which is so sick. It's so fucking cool. So anyway, we were all, the four of us were very, very hyped and very excited for this. We went in with, like, they set the stage perfectly. I love 2013. I thought Evil Dead Rise was pretty good. I'm hyped. I'm going in and I'm excited. It's one of those things too, where a lot like Supergirl, right away, something's just off. Something's bad. Like the dialogue is so obvious, so on the nose. Characters just state like facts for the audience. It's like a fucking anime where you're just exposition dumping. Oh, that reminds me of my guy's talking to his sister. That reminds me of dad when he died last year from leukemia. Oh, sure. That was such an unfortunate event. Do you remember how sad mom was and how she was in bed for 3 weeks? I'm like, yeah, dude, we were there. We saw that. Like, why are you telling me? You're not telling me. You're telling the audience. So that sucked. And then like also there was just like these strange editing. I can't even call them choices. They were like just weird flow to the edit. Where again, it's just crazy how I just saw Supergirl, and Supergirl had the same problem where there's no momentum to the scenes. It was very like choppy, start, stop, uncomfy, weird. You never got lulled into the sort of pace of the film. It was always just kind of like I was reminded constantly by the edit that I was watching a movie. Is that fair to say? Yes, it is fair to say. Fuck you, man. You haven't seen it. Or maybe you have. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have snapped at you like that, bro. It's not fair. It's not fair. You're doing the best you can, man. Listening to this podcast and you get berated. I thought the editing was pretty. Fuck you. Fuck you. But yeah, editing weird, dialogue weird, and then just those two things the entire time. I will say like there's plenty of mean-spirited shit in the movie. They kill a dog right away, like brutally kill a dog. And it's a very annoying thing when the rest of the family doesn't seem to give a fuck that the dog is dead. I hate that in horror movies. So that was weird and off-putting, but it's a horror movie. It's allowed to be weird and off-putting. But even, I do think like there's a new school of thought, which is like, don't ever kill the dog ever, even in a horror movie when, you're supposed to be horrified. Don't ever kill the dog ever is the new philosophy that most filmmakers take. And so I think were that earned? Were it earned or were it paid off later in the movie? Or if anyone in the movie gave a fuck, then I would say that it's worth doing. But none of those things happened and it was just uncomfortable to watch. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't know. Long story short, I did not like this movie at all. So since the 2013 one, they've gotten progressively worse, in my opinion. And it is cool to me that Sam Raimi is trying out different directors. Like he keeps just handing his baby over to a new set of eyes and a new team, a new director with a vision. Typically, these people will have had one successful thing in the past, and Sam Raimi sees it and goes, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. I'll hand him Evil Dead and see, his take on it, or, maybe he'll write me a pitch or whatever the thing is. And then, so I think twice now it's worked pretty successfully, and this is the first time it has not worked. And I was wondering why this one is different. And then I found out why. Because I looked into the director, and I'll put a picture of him in this episode right now. This is the director of Evil Dead Burn. His name is, and he's hot. He's hot. That's why you can't have a hot guy behind the camera. It's the reason this whole thing fell apart. You need hot people in front of the camera where they can be seen with our eyes. Is there a single hot director in Hollywood? Is there one? There's not one. This is the first guy. And there's a reason that this movie sucks ass. You cannot have the hot directing movies. You need the troglodytes like myself behind the scenes where the smarts go. The hot bimbo or bimboy, whatever the fucking, those people are supposed to be eye candy. They're supposed to be on screen. This guy doesn't have a brain between his ears. No, he's hot, bro. Get the fuck away from the director's chair. What are we doing? So that's the reason this movie sucks, is because that guy is too good looking. You can't have that. You can't have that, So Sloppers, I think that's pretty much all I have. I don't think that it's interesting. Couple things. I'm happy that I'm here. I'm grateful to the old studio for over a year of this podcast, man. 57 something episodes, I think it was 58, doesn't matter, but it's, over a year of podcast episodes in that room. And here's another room. I'm standing in a new room. A new adventure awaits us, Sloppers. I'm excited to see what the next year brings, man. I took a break from the clips this week because I was moving. I didn't have time to make the clips. But now that I have the rhythm of the clips as a part of my workflow, I anticipate growth. I do. So stick around for that. I think that there will eventually be people that listen to this thing consistently. And then you won't have to listen to this in shame and secret anymore. You can go nah, dude, I listen to Slop Chop. That shit rips, brother. There are dozens of other people that listen to this too. Thank you guys so much for being a part of it, bro. I'm really, really stoked to see what the future holds. Thank you for being a part of our journey. God love you, Slop Nation. I will see you guys in 7 days' time, hopefully with more furniture. Goodbye. Thank you for being here. Goodbye.